Hey, Peter, remember when I was the sole survivor for Vault 111 and I had to save my son? Yep, it's me. I gotta do it. I'm not using AI. The Wasteland in Fallout 4 is a much more tame, peaceful, and downright comedic place compared to the Wasteland in any other Fallout game. So what if you played a character whose world laughs at him as much as people laugh at the Wasteland? Can you beat Fallout 4 as Joe Swanson? This run was streamed live on Twitch and YouTube, so if you enjoy watching my suffering and never want to miss an upload, you can follow my Twitter, Blue Sky, made almost entirely for notifications for streaming and when videos come out, as well as a little bit of Peak. And speaking of Peak, now it's time for the best part. Larsburrito creating a character with a character creator. Perfect start. Get more of a higher nose. Good to hear, Chunky. I looked away and looked back to see those eyes. They haunt my dreams. Are you ready to go through Fallout 4? Yeah, let's do it. The first of few rules is needing to use the power of Google and console commands to turn my legs into mush, to be as lore accurate as the Swanson himself. And after we confirm that it works, oh, yeah, I think it's working. I have a feeling that it's working. But I can't prove it, but I think I get to talk to the door-to-door salesman that's selling working legs, and give him all my personal information so that I can have free Minecraft. Stats are low agility and luck, because no legs, and no legs, and high strength, endurance, and perception for this half-man being in full man shape. And as Bonnie and myself keep an eye on our little Kevin, the news informs us that the world is over. But for real this time. So with my wheelchair in the shop, we start to make our way to the nearest vault as fast as I can. I would laugh so hard if there was a timer and the bomb goes off before you get there. I think there's like a distance thing, or if I like go like too close to those guys, it'll blow up. There is a timer, there's not a timer. There's not a timer. It can go off if you're idle long enough. If you're idle, but we're moving. We're moving like people that move at speeds in which they move. There's also a timer. Chat, there's not a timer. Bonnie, thankfully waiting for me. Or can't get in without me, I'm not really sure. Alright. Whew. We're gonna be okay, Bonnie. Mr. Abel, are you okay? You okay, Mr. Abel? And my wife, are you also okay? But Mr. Abel, are you okay? We get to experience what it's like to be a fresh frozen vegetable before getting served to an unhappy and bald Gordon Ramsay. Get to see happen to Bonnie what she wished would happen to me, and after going to check on her, oh my legs, I now need to bring it on and avenge wife. We then fix a misconception of my rules, that being weapons. It's a police baton, right? Nah, it's a security baton. Oh well, I got my fists. I always forget, unlike Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4 doesn't have any police weapons. So for this run, the damage I will be doing will only consist of my strong flesh-needing mitts, and whatever weapon I duct tape to them, as well as ballistic pistols to mimic that cop skill. But for the first time in any of my Fallout 4 runs, being able to do damage inside the vault makes it easy to get a wheelchair for my arm. Before we're off to roll our way through the world that's definitely changed, and is already rotting my brain. And the guy funny moments. Remember the Peter time? Remember the dog? Me and the actual dump truck behind me make our way back home. Talk to a robot while showing I'm not one of those streamers. How much would we have to donate to add no fast travel to the rules? I don't think there's an amount that would make me want to do it like that. I've never seen Joe fast travel before. What do you mean? It's called a cutaway gag. He goes, banana, and then they're at the next location. That's essentially fast travel. It's lore accurate. And make sure to follow the final rule of trying to be a good guy, and make my robot who has totally real feelings happy, which allows me to make some 5-star eats, and make the totally not painful journey to the Red Rocket, and get to team up with the dog. What you got, boy? Nice. Stuff that helps me and things. Thank you, Brian the dog. We bring it on to some rats, and follow the roads so I can make my way to the lead given to me by the robot, which helps me gather my first level for my first of many upgrades in Gunslinger. Cleveland Garvey asks for some assistance, needing to be a nerd and going into the meanie-filled museum to take down the raiders who are not being nice. Hey, don't do that. Hey, I just want to be a friend. I just want to be your 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 friend. Look what you made me do. We could have been friends. I wanted to help. You made that not possible. Get the reminder how useful the recent Fallout 4 update was. Dog. Brian the dog. Well, I think it broke. Brian the dog doesn't want me to do the thing. I'm actually stuck here. That is hilarious. So with the not upsetting choice of loading a save that destroyed seconds of my life, and grab a fusion core for a plan I'm not yet privy to, I get to take out the raiders and meet with this Cleveland fellow, telling him I'm friendly, and at the start, Chat and I decide to allow the use of power armor because it can be like a wheelchair for me, just like it is for characters like Ingrid. This inevitably changes later, but with it seeming too easy, decided to take on this Deathclaw with my bare nubs. Get reminded how fun melee is in my gun game. The fight between half man and full beast goes about as well as you'd expect. That's a Joe Family Guy death pose if I've ever seen one. I do what I can to tank these grabs and stun and smack this Deathclaw until it's not only crippled my wheelchair legs, but forces to see that I mean it when I say bring it on. We get Brian back up before finishing the raiders and inviting this group of Minutemen over to my past home, where I abandoned my wheelchair because it's low on fuel, more on this later, before I try and welcome my new guests by making the place livable. Express the downsides of me being a lazy person. The fire on the horizon? I think my EMB is out of date and I don't know how to change it, and I also don't care enough to fix it. I think that's what it normally, I think that's what it is. Usually you don't see it in the videos of Fallout 4 because I cut around it, but I can't do that because we're live. I also get down a water purifier to get consistent healing for traveling, and do a quick bit of leveling so I can get the gun nut perk for a more better and all-around gooder turret. And with my new community happy, it's time to make it to Diamond City in search of any information on my stolen child. Do some trading before trading some nice words, but the meaning with a gun doubts my skill. Taking them out in the name of the law, and in the name of a 10% discount with Trudy. I take a quick trip home to get the gun for my fist, upgrade it to do some bleed, once again in editing form, struggle to convey to you that this trip to Diamond City is long, before I cut footage and realize it's night by the time I get in the sight of the Great Green Dump. Bullet, 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 and get the closest thing to cop armor that I know of, being Diamond City armor. And after this super mutant was reaching, I reached the city. And thanks to me letting this woman lie, we can both get inside so I can look for a detective who's already working a job. So I need to help him do his work so I can get him to work for me. Try and mind my own business before my older sibling forces me to watch a live leak video.
Kyle, no!
I follow the lead to find this detective. Find out right here and now I can't sneak thanks to me continuously crying over my legs and my inability to crouch. I also can't jump. I don't know if you can hear me wage war on my keyboard. Can't jump. Not possible. I love Latinas. Thank you for following. This triggerman shows me the wrong way to use a gun before I come back to life to show them that guns shoot bullets. The easiest part of the game starts, as this section is not only filled with enemies that decided 20% polyester was enough to protect them, they also drop hordes of 10mm and 4.5 ammunition, while only taking 2 or so bangs to put them into the dirt, showing off my amazing American math on why this is good for me. And since the Triggerman and God's weakest dino can't stop me from meeting Peter Valentine, he agrees to help me if we save him. So we both start pushing our way out. You got it, you got it, you got it. We can handle it. Peter doing as Peter does. Damn! Don't act like I didn't see that. You just fucking choke slammed that guy. You just picked him up by his fucking jeans and dunked him into the toilet of life. More like the toilet of death, but honestly, yeah. Before I once again fail trying to use my words. Instead, using the words known as these hands at least gets me another level for my pew-pew. And with a lot of things sold, I can see the happy people be happy before Detective Peter becomes a very bad detective, as I need to break into the house with a bribe, and once in, I myself acquire the item that can help me find the bandit who stole my child, and his dog will be the one to help me actually find him. I learn here and now that Peter just wanted to be a detective for the hat. The first leg, well, the first wheel of the trip is quite peaceful, the second being nothing but legendary animals stuffed with radiation and items I can't use. If I weren't also playing the game at the... Aww, that'll sell for like 2 caps at least. And despite all my rage, I take care of this bear stuck without a cage, and accidentally started my tank arc by taking a toughness level. Once again show why fast travel is allowed. Whoa. Quick teleport, you know. But once we make our way to Fort Hagen, I tell Brian that I must face this alone. Alright Brian, dismissed. Go back to the people need you at Sanctuary Hills. They need your quick wit in your martinis. Oh boy. Once inside, I'm faced with a bunch of robots trying to take my cop job. Showing off my speed and superior aim, I show them the definition of job security. Not this music with it. Before, in horror, I come face to face with Kellogg Quagmire, and after falling for the rage bait, find out that bullets hurt. So I try it again and make sure to lead the attack. Making it much easier by letting it be an actual 1v1. Get over here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Get over here. Come on. Stop walking away. Get over here. Come on. Get out. It's over. Give up. Stop trying. Just give up. And after changing nothing outside of stuffing stim packs down my throat between punches, I find a nice corner to lay Quagmire giggity, ripping out his brain for later, as well as snatching his revolver. Get to see what Jay Schlatt uses his time machine for every September 11th. Which reminds me, I was planning to side with the Brotherhood, mostly because haha funny wheelchair clan, and the first quest starts at a police station. But during the journey for the first quest, I kinda don't know about using power armor. I mean 80% of this run is just haha no legs, but with things like the sitting down animation, I changed the story once again to be the damn Brotherhood of Steel stole my wheelchair. So we instead keep going with the story. Getting to Good Neighbor to learn the downside of asking questions in London, give the nice doctor the brain I've been keeping in my back pocket, so I can find out going in someone's brain somehow still leaves me crippled for this overly long walking simulator. Hey Joe, remember the time where you went into a dead guy's memory and you were still crippled? Yes. But this at least teaches us the Institute has unfortunately learned the power of cutaway gags. And to catch up, I need to learn from someone who ran from the Institute, who's hiding in the glowing sea. Being told I must venture to the rad location, I get a very important level up in a not radiation resistance, taking the slow and careful journey to even get to the sea, before I slowly start Journey 2. Thankfully having a decent amount of Rad-X and Red-Away, the only thing to kill me being a small singular bloatfly, before I slowly tiptoe to the Atom Enjoyers, who tell me the person I'm looking for lives in this cave, and while Meg doesn't trust me, she doesn't have a choice as she needs my help. Basically, she can reverse engineer what they use to get into the Institute. I just need to follow the radio station of beep beeps to find the evidence that a Corsair synth was here, and instead of teaming up with these gunners, due to them reaching for weapons, I make sure they hit the ground instantly. The only thing being able to stop me is the same thing that stops me every time I enter this building. So after he tries again, and it wasn't even close, the gunners can't stop me, and once I get up to the synth himself, I just pull out my most powerful weapon, and fire at his head until the robot can get sent to the place all machines without System 32 arrive at, the trash can. Oh, I'm so sick with it though. I then save the synth lady, for no real reason.
And I like how you're at least 18 years old.
Actually,
I like how you're at least 18 years old.
And with the chip acquired, slowly make my way to a place that can actually get it scanned, being the not-so-hidden railroad, who gets surprised when I actually solve the puzzle they left for me. Hi. Tinker Tom gets to do what he was literally born for, and for no reason than to make someone in chat happy, take the hour-and-a-half detour of doing the first mission for the railroad. The visual representation is that a rad storm not only starts, but goes before I get there. A man who looks like he doesn't eat his bowl of nails with any milk tells us how to get into the old railroad base found out by the Institute. A task so unimportant, only base level synths show up. And they could be anywhere. And once the only leveled up synth goes kapuya, Deacon is nice enough to give me a gun that actually looks like a gun. But it turns out to be a trap to get my trust. Oh, I actually have to. No, don't bug me here, dude. Definitely not siding with the railroad now because your dumbass won't move. So, 10 minutes later, I get to point out to you, the viewer, that I didn't do much gun upgrading, as I saved it all for right here, right now, as I have Gun Nut 2, so I can make my upgrades I've earned actually worth a damn, as well as make a fast shooting pipe pistol for all my 45 ammo. With all I needed to gather to prove myself, Meg gave me schematics to get into the Institute. But since I'm a servant of the people, to convince Mr. Garvey I should be allowed to build it, I must go to a settlement, as it is in need of my help. So it's back to Concord to actually get to the settlement, Learned my new weapon is kind of amazing. Alright. I know last stream I said I didn't want to get this weapon. Now I'm glad that I did, because doing damage is nice. But I'm at the settlement, and find out some raiders nearby are being mean. So I must teach them killing people is bad, by killing them. And as someone who does this mission a lot, it's pretty easy to actually break in, go down an elevator, and shoot the only person that actually matters. And with that finished, the Garvey looks down upon me to put me in my place, to shame me as I am yet to help the settlement he hasn't told me about yet. Another set of rushing in, well, another set of crypt walking in, and taking care of the quote-unquote clutch who's going 2 and 7. But with the 2 places saved, Sturgis can look at the blueprints. I somehow for once have everything I need to make it, and I can materialize into the institution once I remember the time. Find my son in a cage, before this guy rage baits me into thinking he's my son, making me so mad I go full machinima mode. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna shoot ya. I'm gonna pull the trigger. You're gonna die. Me, Joe Swanson, gonna shoot you in the face. So after this little rage bait fails, I just leave. Only after swiping some important data. That should allow us to find out how to get back in, but for destroying Institute purposes. But for that to be allowed to happen, I must talk to the man. Don't you walk away from me, sassy boy. You back over here. I got things to talk to you about. Don't you walk away from me. And while I want to attack the people who stole my son... settlements... We help Mario wannabe as his wife is in another raider castle, and since most raider fights end with red rain, we very easily make our way to the metaphorical castle. Walk in this game, and 3 headshots later, I save the damsel, assert dominance, and save the day. For the next settlement we need to fix is for the boys. So it's back to another peaceful walk that's made significantly less peaceful with chat as my entertainment. I don't want to just do like an Oshawott model, which then gets into like the small issue I've been having of Oshawott will always be a staple on the channel because I love this guy. I thought you said Auschwitz. Why the fuck would I say Auschwitz? Now that this video has gotten its tragic equals funny quota, we storm the not metaphorical castle, taking on the big crab that I later turn into delectable treats. And while the queen doesn't go easy, the crabs can count on that. With my bravery on full display. Leave me alone! Not even close. We can fix the place up to recruit more people, before getting to help the one farm I actually like. Where is this guy going? What is happening, my dude? Get back over here. We have business to discuss. And with the one farm I like, now the one that I hate the most, I get sent to almost sacrifice my life against people with weapons that could actually kill me, so that I can get a black and white picture. Only for me to be Pete and repeat and do it all again. Only thing to mix it up is sending a raider to the top of a tree. And it at least gives me reward of the legs. Oh! Movement speed. Increase. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 10% faster. Let's go, baby. To make this ever so slightly more bearable. And with that finished, I can tell you, for your viewing experience, I've cut out pretty much all the times I've sold things to shops for more bullets and food. But telling you here now for, I don't know, because I wanna. It also turned Glenn's gun into something useful, with a cool paint job to remember him by. And as thanks for all my work, Garvey allows me to meet Greased Up Deaf Grandma, who gives me the task of firing a single shot, followed by taking out one singular robot that I hate. I think I can see my health bar, you said sarcastically, because the game sucks. And with it taken out, it doesn't explode. Oh, I guess it didn't explode too hard. I get to craft garbage, before getting to do more garbage. The man who recently got his wife returned, lost her once again, but this time instead of saving her, just give him 200 caps. And once again, going to a settlement, to be told I can help another settlement, which had the danger of a singular ghoul. So an amazing use of my time. Tell chat how I cook food. Actually was secretly in gun range the whole time. Can I just use some X-clad pans? Probably not. I have one pan that I use for everything, and I will continue to use that one pan for everything until it gives out, and then which I will buy another pan in which I use for everything, until that pan gives out, in which I will buy a new pan. What will this pan do, you ask? I'm so glad you've mentioned it. It will do everything. It will cook everything. Any meal in the pan. Before it's time for Minuteman self-care. Since this normally proves to be a semi-difficult section, I try and help myself by placing these 3 turrets. But honestly, thanks to the levels and investments in my pistols, most of the synths just slowly turn into a pile of bodies. And while the coursers are a bit more of a problem, with my spare bleed damage to help, I can make the right oil drain from them. And also get a level up, which I used for Rooted, for no other reason than it being the Pit-Boy guy with no legs. And with the last courser down, followed by our last ammo run, we take the fight to the Institute. Breaking it is way easier than it should be, only having unleveled synths to protect it, so getting the first wheel of the travel done is no real issue. I think the game wants me to jump, but I kinda can't. So, since the Institute doesn't want to be wheelchair accessible, I kinda just try a few methods to cheese my way over this lip, before reloading a save, so I can not only find out who really stole my wheelchair. Yo, wait. My wheelchair. But so I can try and lure a synth over to the lip to try and do a VATS jump. Which was also not possible. So I guess this is it. With the world not being able to support me and be accessible to my needs, I guess you can't beat Fallout 4 as... Come on. With the bucket! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Yes! Oh my goodness. I didn't... It had to have been the bucket. Common bucket W. Holy. So finding out that the wheelchair was the friends we made along the way, I summon the boys so we can blast our way through these evil bastards. Get to ride an elevator right to the self-destruct button, where my fake son tries to convince me to change, and with us both refusing to budge, I just get to experience Fallout 4 being Fallout 4.
This must be the reactor. This must be the reactor.
This must be the reactor.
Good luck. This must be the reactor.
This must be the reactor. Guys, I think this must be the reactor. Like, it must be the reactor, right? The Institute sends out their last big robots, named after random keyboard mashing, but they can't stop me from placing the charge. Get a fake son. Okay. I guess. Before getting to watch the only reason to get up in the morning with my real son, Mr. Bucket. Where we prove that yes, you can beat Fallout 4 as Joe Swanson. Thank you so much for watching, and show your support however you see fit. If you have any other ideas for Fallout 4, New Vegas, or any other games for challenges, let me know down below. Thanks again to the amazing members on screen now. Love you all. Mwah. And not as always.